Hey guys, Mix here, and in today's video we are back with my 1964 Volvo 1800S, and today is a big day. We're going to be continuing to work on it, but we are going to be taking it on its very first drive. So, over the past few months or so, we've been working on this thing and kind of just working out the kinks, but as you can see, we have a registration. This thing is insured, ready for the road, and today is the maiden voyage. So, we've been doing a ton of stuff, as you guys have seen if you've been following along, from stuff from under the hood to obviously taking out the interior and kind of just redoing everything. And I have been doing some stuff off camera, but today we're going to be kind of doing a little shakedown because I'm sure there's going to be some stuff that we're going to feel on the drive that we're going to have to fix. Because basically we've just been doing everything that I've seen physically that needs to get done, but once we kind of hit the road, we're definitely gonna be able to feel some other stuff, I'm sure of it. But I have been doing some minor stuff off camera, like I got both headlights in and functioning, because when I bought this car, I kind of fell off the trailer. We're all good there. And I also took out the speedometer because the old one wasn't really functioning at all. It was all cracked on the front and everything. And the car actually came with the new speedometer. Somebody wrote nice on it, so that means it's gotta work. But that's definitely gonna look way better as opposed to that old cracked one. Also went ahead and put on new knobs for all the switches because the old ones were all like crazy dry rotted and like really corroded and gross. So that definitely makes it look a little bit nicer. But after this drive, we're gonna see exactly what it needs. I have some parts already for stuff that I saw that it's probably gonna need. But after the drive, we'll go ahead and run through that and begin working on this thing. But as of right now, I think it's road ready, and I definitely feel comfortable to take this out on the road. All right, let's go ahead, do a cold start on this thing. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm just letting this thing sit here and warm up a little bit, but just kind of checking over everything, make sure there's no leaks, but seems to be running pretty good. Alrighty guys, here we go. Let's put on this crazy seatbelt. Alright, we're off. Got about 55 pounds of oil pressure. I've been letting this thing warm up for quite a bit now. The steering feels really good actually, because as you guys know, we just did the steering coupler on it because the other one was like absolutely destroyed. A big safety hazard because honestly I think the steering would have fallen apart. But it feels nice and tight right now actually, which is pretty good. And for a car that has no power steering, this massive steering wheel really like helps get some leverage while turning. Clutch feels pretty good. This car has twin SU carburetors. I had the twin SU carbs on my MG, and they were so hard to work with. So I ended up just swapping it to the Weber, as you guys know, which has been very good to me. I would like to keep the twin SU carbs on this car for originality purposes, and a Weber carburetor is pretty expensive, to be honest. Right now it seems to be accelerating okay. It goes right back down to idle. It free revs perfectly. Go. Let's see. Wow, pretty good actually. I mean, it's slow, don't get me wrong. They really didn't hesitate at all. And this thing needs a wash too. Ooh, yeah, there's a bad rattle on the front end going over bumps. Ooh, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it does not feel or sound good. I keep looking in my right rear view for cars, but there is no rear view mirror there, so I just gotta look behind me. Wow, this thing feels great. Well, sort of. It just feels great to drive it after working on it for so long. The tachometer is working intermittently, and when it does work, it's not accurate at all, so gotta look into that. Hopefully it's just like a wiring thing, and I don't need a whole new one. Let's say it's pretty much warmed up now, and under load, sitting at about 50 pounds, which is good. At idle, it's like 30, which is perfectly normal. Transmission shifts really smooth. There's a few rattles, which I would like to figure out where they're coming from because it's kind of annoying. And another thing that we got to do is the e-brake. I have to put down one of my camera mounts, tripods, underneath the back wheel to keep the stick from going off. And I looked under the car and there's absolutely no linkage attached to the e-brake whatsoever. So I do already have those parts ready to go. So hopefully we can install those and there isn't anything else missing. But I also did like a multi-point inspection and all the lights seem to be working, blinkers, brake lights, headlights, high beams, everything seems to be working there. So definitely good to see. Gotta listen in for these bumps. Because we're about to go over a bump. Gotta take it easy, but that wasn't too bad. That was definitely successful, I'd say. If you guys don't know how the seatbelt works, it's like first of its kind for a 3-point seatbelt. Basically this loop here, passenger has the same thing, and it just literally clips right on, and then that's it. Alrighty guys, so we made it back. This thing felt pretty good, but I kept bringing up that rattle that I kept feeling, and if we go underneath the car, if we take a look at our anti-sway bar, which goes, across, there's a mount that's supposed to be there. There's a mount on the other side right there. That's what it's supposed to look like. It has a mount. Over here, it has the rubber, as you can see, but there is no mount at all. It's supposed to bolt right here, and this is not doing anything. It's just sliding across, and this thing is completely loose, and I believe that's the noise we're hearing when we hit the bumps. So luckily for me, I have a bag of parts here, a new sway bar mount, and new rubber bushings. So we can handle that today, which is great. Get these installed and hopefully not have that rattle anymore. And then I also have stuff to hook up the e-brake. So on this car, the e-brake is on the driver's side right next to the seat. And the rod from right here, which is right below the seat, it goes across, and then it has the little lever on the bottom that's supposed to have a little hook in it. And then the linkage starts there and basically runs back to the rear wheels. As you can see, there's nothing on that linkage at all. So we have new cables, we have some of the linkage and everything, but one of the linkage parts, the part that hooks onto that little arm on the bottom, I cannot find anywhere. So we're gonna have to make our own, which I think we should be able to do, but we should have everything else needed to do it. As long as there's nothing missing from the rear brake drums or anything like that, I think we should be good. But I want to start off with just taking care of doing the sway bar, because that rattle is just insane, and then we'll move on from there. Alright guys, I don't know how well you can be able to see it, but got the new bushing in, and this thing is nice and solid now, no more clanking. So hopefully that noise goes away and it wasn't something else. I only went ahead and did the driver's side. The passenger side one actually looks pretty good, so I just went ahead and left it. It's not broken, not gonna fix it, but I do have the extra bushings in case I need them in the future. But got that done. Now I wanna go ahead and do this e-brake, because it is very annoying to have to chalk the wheels every time I stop the car, park it in gear, stuff like that, so it's super annoying. So I got the car on jack stands in the back, and I want to go ahead and get started on this e-brake. So I have pretty much everything I think I need. I have the 2 cables, I have some of the hardware, but as I was saying, I don't have the basically rod that connects the e-brake arm to the linkage. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make one out of threaded rod, and I think it should work. First off, I need to basically put a bend in this so it can hook on, and then make sure that it's nice and straight going down, and then I'm basically just gonna have to cut it and adjust it to wherever it basically starts functioning at. So I'm kind of just gonna wing this as I go. I looked at a diagram of sort of how, all of this works. So this is gonna go right in here. It's gonna get bolted right in, perfect. And I don't wanna cut too much off, but obviously there is way too much rod. Somewhere right about here should be a safe spot. No way. That was finger tight on there. That's nice. All right. Wow. All right, so looking at this brake drum, I think I know why there's no e-brake on this. So for whatever reason, it's missing all of the e-brake assembly in this drum. There's supposed to be a bracket that goes in this notch to this notch, and then there's an arm that comes down, and basically the cable goes through that hole, goes in, cable connects to it, pulls it, expands the brake, and then that's your e-brake. Well, all of that is gone, which is odd. And not only that, this brake drum was literally finger tightened on. So that's a little concerning to say the least, but this looks brand new. Like, these seals are still soft. It literally looks like somebody just put this in. But I guess I gotta go ahead and order these, because without any of that, all of this means absolutely nothing. So that kind of puts us at a halt for right now, because I really can't do anything further. But I'm gonna go ahead and get some parts ordered, and I'll catch you guys back here in a few days when hopefully we get some brakes on this thing. Alrighty guys, so we are back here a few days later, and I believe I have everything else needed to get this job done. So we're gonna go ahead and jump straight into it. I already have the car up in the air, and I actually already went and put on a new castle nut for basically the entire wheel, because it was not safe before. It was not staying on whatsoever. So got a brand new one of these that actually tightens down, unlike the other one. So let's go ahead, pop off this wheel, and what I want to go ahead and do is start from the wheel drum back, kind of build everything inside, and then work my way up to kind of the linkage and everything for the handbrake itself. Oh my god, this already has it. You're joking. Oh well, I mean, guess I saved some money on parts. Alright, so I just went to town pulling off this brake drum. I had to use a puller, and I had to break out my torch, but I finally popped it off, and well, we already have everything inside of here, which is just great. It doesn't have a clip here, so that's gonna wobble, so I'll throw in the clip there, and then we'll throw in the cable, hook it all up, and then move ourselves up and start doing the linkage. So I'm pretty sure I have this thing adjusted right where it should be. I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate. All right, so right now the e-brake is off, and I can spin this thing freely. And once the wheel's on, we'll have a better judgment of how really it feels. But once I hit the brake, this thing is locked down. So I think we're pretty much good. Once we get the wheel on, we'll really see how it is, but we're right in that area. Alright guys, so the car is back on the ground. We got the wheels all torqued down, everything all good to go. So what I want to go ahead and see if the e-brake actually works. So right now, I have it parked in gear as I always do. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pop it out of gear, and it's going to roll back immediately. So I have my foot on the brake. Hey! Sweet. Release is good. Wow, it's actually really good. Sweet. Alright guys, so I am stoked that this thing finally has an e-brake. It's super annoying that I have to constantly, turn this thing off to park it, and because I have to keep it in gear. But now I can just let it idle in neutral without needing to wheel chalk it, and it fires right up. This thing is running great, and no wheel chalks, which is a first. But next thing we need to do is go ahead and install the new speedometer, which I'm going to go ahead and do for another day because I need to wrap it up for now. So with that being said, I'll catch you all tomorrow. Alrighty guys, so we are back here the next day, and I'm sitting in the car, and I want to go ahead and install this new nice speedometer because the other one was all cracked and damaged and looked horrible. But the mileage is actually pretty close on this one too, which is nice. And somebody wrote nice on it, so that means it has to work. Before we go ahead and install it, I want to go ahead and throw some new bulbs in here for the turn signals and the high beams, and basically it lights up inside here. You can see those little diagrams on the bottom. So throw some new bulbs in it and see if they work. Hopefully, when I turn on the high beams and the turn signals, everything like that. And if not, we'll try and figure out why they won't be working. So I got all brand new bulbs. They basically just screw right into the little plugs for them. As you can see, they have their own little threads. Hit the turn signal. Hey, sweet. Alright, both sides working. Let me hit the high beams. Actually, it might have to be grounded. There we go. High beams. Sweet. So the new speedometer is all mounted in and everything is working. As you can see, turn signals, the little light turns on. And then if we turn on the lights and then flip on our high beams, the high beam light now shows. So that is really cool that everything is working electronically. I have all the cables hooked up for the speedometer itself, so that should be all good. Another thing I just noticed is that when we turn on the key, the speedometer also lights up as well. So everything is functioning as it should there. So guys, I'm really happy on how this thing is turning out. Now that it's on the road, we can really start shaking it down like we did in this video and just starting to figure out stuff that needs to get done simply by driving it. So there really isn't too much left to really make it, you know, as reliable as I want it to be. There are still, you know, quite a few things that I would like to do to it, but for right now, it is very, very good. But something you guys could probably look forward to is a deep clean on this thing, because I haven't washed it yet and it is crazy dusty, filled with pollen and just dust from sitting. As you can see back here, it's just crazy dusty, and this thing should definitely clean up really, really nicely. But with that being said, I'm going to be ending off this video here. Stay tuned for more content with this thing coming soon, but follow my social media to stay aware on the outro of this video, Instagram and Snapchat I use the most. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, tell your friends about the channel.